So we have seen intermittent flow systems, continuous flow systems. There is a third variation which we come across very often. Think about constructing a flyover, or let's say a metro train network, or a new airport terminal. Just imagine how the activities would be. Or think about manufacturing and assembly of a Boeing or an Airbus aircraft, such a large piece which is put together. Or think of a large multi-specialty hospital, let's say located on a 10-story building. So you are putting up a 10-story building, putting all the facilities together. All these examples, if we see, we would notice something interesting. The activities are quite jumbled, number of people are involved, and the way in which these activities are done are quite in very different ways. So let's take an example to illustrate this. Let's say there are several resources. I have put together 7 resources here. Let's think about a particular job. Starts from resource 1, from there it goes to resource 4, something is done there, from there it again goes to resource 3, from resource 3 it goes to resource 6 and then goes out. So this is, let's say, one job. Let's take another job. It starts from resource 2. From resource 2 it visits resource 3, and from resource 3 it comes to, let's say, resource 5. From resource 5 it goes to resource 7 and then it goes out. We have these examples. You go for executive health checkup, you find that we have such different patients are asked to go different places. Let's say there is a third job which again starts from resource 1. From there it goes to resource 2. From resource 2 it goes to resource 4. From resource 4 it goes to resource 6. And from there it goes to 7. And from 7 it exits the system. This is typically how a jumbled flow is. We have seen it in a multi-specialty hospital. You will see it in a very complex construction of an airport which we talked about. So what are the issues here? First of all, what we will recognize is things are quite non-standard. The flow is quite complex. Why? Because it is highly customized items, and quite often the customer orders for one. We just build one airport at the end of the day for a particular design. So that leads to very high variety and very low volumes. As I told, sometimes even the volume is just 1. And it leaves no benefit arising out of volume or scale of operations. So given all these, what can we expect in such jumbled flow systems from an operations management perspective? First of all, one can expect large uncertainty. One can expect that too many entities are involved. It could be, if you take a case of an airport, it could be civil, it can be environmental clearance, it could be heating, ventilation, air conditioning. One understands it. There's too many entities involved. The time span is very, very large. Typically these kinds of activities happen over a period of a few years, and it is very difficult to dedicate resources exclusively for these requirements. So sharing of these common resources is very much a reality. So these are very peculiar kind of issues that we need to handle in systems which come under what is called jumbled flow. So how do we go about doing that? How do we handle this? Since we know that the operations planning and control is going to be too complex, the first thing that might be useful is we need to develop a subsystem oriented thinking. What I mean is, this entire thing that is to be done is to be packaged into pieces. It should be understood that the execution of pieces in some ways leads you to the final product or service that we are delivering. We need some methods by which we have to take uncertainty into consideration in the entire analysis. That's going to be very, very critical. Now, how do we do all these from an operations management perspective? What tools and techniques do we have? So, there is a body of knowledge called project management, which are very, very important. In fact, the whole gamut of operations management revolves around project management tools and techniques, which tells us how do you create subsystems, how do you look at resources, how do you manage stakeholders, how do you manage progress for a very long time of few years in which we do, and how do we make changes because of uncertainty, and more importantly, how do we even predict when this whole product or service is going to be delivered. So I think these are some of the issues which are peculiar to jumble flow systems, and as a project operations management personnel, we need to look at these perspectives and bring these unique tools to solve the problem on hand.